Hi everyone! Welcome to Studio Classroom on the Air. This is the place to come when you want to have some fun. My name is Rebecca. Now, what are some good habits that you have? Perhaps you make your bed every morning, or brush your teeth, or perhaps you wash your dishes as soon as you use them. These are great habits. Well, it's time to take those good habits to the next level. Now, we are going to learn more about this idea in a lesson called How to Take Your Good Habits to the Next Level. Our lesson provides 3 suggestions as to how you can take your good habits to the next level. Let's learn the first 2 today. Number 1, link I should with I do. And number 2, make a reasonable swap. Okay, friends, it's time for you to open up your magazines because we must begin. Follow me.
How to take your good habits to the next level. You're already nailing some good behaviors, so use them to your full advantage. You probably have a few good habits kicking around in your daily routine. If that's the case, you can use those habits to grow more. Number 1, link I should with I do. The brain is a cool cucumber in that while it will make some associations without you consciously deciding for it to, you can teach it to link different concepts. If you drive, then you've learned to associate red, yellow, and green with stop, slow down, and go. Because your brain has this capacity, you can take something you enjoy and already do, say sipping coffee, and pair it with something that's not a habit, for example, making your bed.
Hello everyone, welcome to Language Lab. I'm Jack. 来看今天的第一个重点 consciously 这个副词 SCI 这个字根表示知道 consciously 就是指自觉的有意识的例如 Martin didn't consciously ignore me, he was just in a hurry. Martin 并不是有意忽视我，他只是在赶时间。如果去掉字尾的 ly 就是形容词 conscious 有意识的神志清醒的例如 My brother finally became conscious when I poured a cup of water on his face. 我在弟弟脸上泼一杯水后，他终于清醒过来。Conscious 也指刻意的存心的例如 a conscious effort 蓄意努力去做什么事或是 a conscious choice 一个刻意的选择例如 Teddy had to make a conscious effort to get to the appointment on time. Teddy 必须很刻意才能够准时赴会。继续我们看 capacity 这个名词 Capacity 原本指容量，但在这里是指有能力理解和做某些特定的事情。例如 Jefferson is known for his capacity to understand difficult math problems. Jefferson 以有能力理解困难的数学问题而闻名。惯用语 one's capacity as something 是指以什么身份或什么职责。例如 Although Chris is a good tutor, I have doubts about his capacity as a teacher. 虽然 Chris 是个很好的家教，但我对他成为老师的能力有所质疑。
Thank you very much, Jack. And hello, friends. Yes, I am here too. My name is Gabe. And this is a very interesting lesson, how to take your good habits to the next level. Sometimes people want to focus on their weaknesses and how to improve those or change those. But here we're talking about good things, your good habits, and how sometimes they're attached to bad habits or other things in life that we don't want, but we're going to take our good habits to the next level. Let's focus on our strengths.
Exactly. Well, our title is How to Take Your Good Habits to the Next Level. And we want to take a look at that phrase, to take something to the next level. What does that mean? Well, it just means that you do something to make it better than before.
And you know, the word level or the next level makes me think of video games. I used to love playing Mario Brothers, and of course, all of those rounds, they were called levels. Let's get to the next level. Oh, I passed that level. I'm going to take my game to the next level. But we can use this phrase to talk about skills or a skill set that somebody has. For example, don't just stay where you are. You should take your skills to the next level. I'm going to take my drumming to the next level.
Oh, you should definitely do that, Gabe. I support you all the way.
Thanks.
Well, let's continue on here. You're already nailing some good behaviors, so use them to your full advantage. Now, we want to take a look at this word to nail. Or nailing, and oftentimes when I see this word nail, I think of, one of those metal things that you use to, like one of those tools, and you maybe use it to hang up a picture or to put pieces of wood together. Well, here in our lesson, it is a verb, and it means to do something successfully.
And I like the use of this word nail here because that's kind of the idea you have. You're going to hammer in something into the correct or accurate spot. You're nailing it. That's a phrase that we use. You nailed it. That means you did it perfectly. You could say that after someone's show. They did a great job. It was excellent. It was perfect. You nailed it. Here's another way to use it. The singer nailed that high note. Perhaps that high note's really hard for some people to reach, but that singer did it perfectly. She sang it perfectly. She nailed that note.
Excellent examples. Well, let's get right here into our lesson. We read, you probably have a few good habits kicking around in your daily routine. If that's the case, you can use those habits to grow more.
That's right. And I like the positivity of this lesson so far. That in that deck, we read, you're already nailing some good behaviors. That's an assumption. It's assumed that you have some good habits. And the sentence says, you have a few good habits kicking around in your daily routine. Well, perhaps you might need to think about that every day. Maybe you're the kind of person that thinks, man, I don't really do anything good in life. I don't have any good habits. But I'm sure that you do. You just have to stop and observe yourself. Think about your good habits.
Exactly. Well, number one, we read, link I should with I do. The brain is a cool cucumber in that while it will make some associations without you consciously deciding for it to, you can teach it to link different concepts.
Okay, so your brain is a cool cucumber. You can do a lot of cool things with your brain. It's pretty flexible and adaptable. If you drive, then you've learned to associate red, yellow, and green with stop, caution, and go. So that's something subconscious that happens in your brain. That is, you don't think about it, but now you know to associate red, yellow, and green with stop, caution, and go.
And of course, you see that picture of someone sipping coffee, right? Well, our lesson does say because your brain has this capacity, you can take something you enjoy and already do, say sipping coffee, and pair it with something that's not a habit. For example, our lesson says, making your bed. So sipping coffee may be more of a habit, whereas making your bed is not. And we want to take a look at this phrase to pair something with something. This just means that you put something with something else that perhaps doesn't usually go together, but then you make it go together.
Or maybe they do usually go together, like cheese and wine. A lot of people like to drink wine while eating cheese, so they pair cheese with wine. But you see this phrase in our lesson, to make your bed. You might think that means to create a bed. No, this is a phrase we use to talk about organizing your sheets and making it look nice after you wake up.
That's right. Well, right now it's time for us to talk about kicking something around
In
the info cloud.
Hello everyone and welcome to InfoCloud. Anne-Marie and I were kicking around a few ideas the other day and then it suddenly occurred to us.
We should talk about the different ways we use the expression to kick around. Rex just used it in the sense of discussing possibilities.
When you are kicking ideas around, it's a bit like going out and kicking a soccer ball back and forth.
You aren't actually playing a game or training, you're just kicking the ball around and having a good time.
Right, but if we use it to describe a place instead of an activity, it means to just sort of move around without any purpose.
Last week, I didn't have anything to do, so I spent the whole time just kicking around the house.
I have a bunch of books from college that are still kicking around my house. That means they have been around, but no one is using them.
But if you are being kicked around by someone else, it means that you are being bullied or mistreated by someone.
I have a friend who quit his job because he felt kicked around by his coworkers.
It's hard when you are always given the worst jobs or even made fun of. But it is fun to kick ideas around. I love talking about different possibilities.
今天要跟大家分享 kick something around 的不同用法。kick something around 字面上是把一个东西踢来踢去，就好像踢足球一样。你可以说 We are kicking around a few ideas. 我们讨论和交换几个点子。如果是用在一个环境当中，那就代表某人在那个地方闲晃。I spent the whole time kicking around the house. 我整个时间都在房子里面闲晃。如果是用来形容一个人，那就不太好了，代表那个人被欺负。He is being kicked around by his coworkers. 他被同事们霸凌。虽然都是 kick something around， 但是用在不同的地方，意思是完全不一样的。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次云端见。
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Studio Classroom, where we are learning about habits, but not any type of habit. We're talking about good habits and how to take those good habits to the next level. Now, our lesson already gave us one suggestion, and that is to link I should with I do. Well, what's the next suggestion? We're going to find out in the next section.
How to take your good habits to the next level. By pairing a familiar experience with something you don't do, the behavior you want to develop doesn't seem so overwhelming. Number 2, make a reasonable swap. Say you always have eggs on white toast for breakfast, grabbing dried fruit to eat during your commute. But you can swap the eggs for egg whites, the white toast for whole wheat, and the dried fruit for fresh. You've reduced the calorie content while improving the nutritional profile. Take a good habit like eating breakfast and see where you can improve.
「接下来我们看 overwhelming 这个形容词，它是动词 overwhelm 的现在分词，当形容词用，在课文中是指巨大的，例如 The candidate won by an overwhelming margin， 这位候选人以极大的差距获胜，或是 This weekend Caleb has an overwhelming list of household chores to do。 Caleb 在这周末有很长一张清单的家事要做，动词overwhelm 的意思是使难以承受，通常用于被动式。我们来看一个例句 After stealing from his mom's purse, Jared was overwhelmed with guilt. Jared 从妈妈的钱包偷钱后，深受罪恶感所苦。最后我们看 profile 这个名词 ，profile 是指人事物的简介，课文中的 nutritional profile 是指营养清单。例如 After taking a vacation, Ryan updated his Facebook profile picture. Ryan 度假完后更新了他在脸书上的个人照片。或是 A good resume should have a profile of your work experience and education. 一份好的履历表应该包括工作经验和学历的简介。Profile 也只受到大众注意力的程度。惯用语 keep a low profile 是指保持低姿态，也就是低调的意思。例如 After embarrassing himself on his first day of school, Edward kept a low profile around campus. 第一天上学出糗后 Edward 在校园里就都保持低调。Okay, let's get back to our teachers.
Thank you very much, Jack. Well, we're going to continue with this idea of pairing something with something else. We read, by pairing a familiar experience with something you don't do, the behavior you want to develop doesn't seem so overwhelming. Do you often do that, Gabe? Pair something that you're familiar with something that you're not as familiar with?
Well, I haven't thought about it consciously before, but I think it's a great idea. After reading this in our lesson, I enjoy sipping coffee, as you know.
Oh, yes, you
I
do.
enjoy listening to a podcast, and there are some good podcasts out there. Actually, sometimes I'll listen to a podcast while practicing some drum rudiments, things that don't require a lot of my attention, but it can still help me to improve and keep good muscle memory and good strength for my drumming. And so it kind of helps me to do those two things at the same time. It keeps me interested and going in practicing because I'm listening to something interesting. So I do think it can be a really good idea.
Okay. Well, this next point in our lesson is make a reasonable swap. Now, before we continue with this idea, let's take a look at this word to swap. Or swap. This just means that, or it is an exchange, or you do something, or you give something to someone else in exchange for something else.
Okay, so as Rebecca was kind of implying there, to swap, this word can also be a verb, even though it's used as a noun in our lesson. Make a reasonable swap, right? Have you ever heard of a swap meet, Rebecca? It's kind of like a flea market.
A swap meet. I don't think I've actually ever been to a swap meet.
Well, you've been to a flea market
Oh,
before,
of
right?
course.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same thing.
Oh,
you
so
know.
you swap things with people?
You actually could. Yeah. Usually you're selling stuff, but you maybe could make a deal with somebody and swap something that you have with something that they have. You know, when I was a kid at school, and we brought our lunches to school, and sometimes I would notice that my friend had some chips. I have a cookie. Don't want a cookie today. He didn't want his chips, and so he would swap his chips for my cookie. It was great.
Okay, well, that's a great deal, right? It's a win-win situation.
Exactly.
You get the chips and he gets the cookie. Well, let's continue on here with our lesson. Say you always have eggs on white toast for breakfast. Grabbing dried fruit to eat during your commute. Let's pause there for just a moment, and let's take a look at this word commute. Now, when we talk about this word commute, it usually has to do with you going from your home to work.
That's right. A commute could be a noun, as it is in our lesson, or it could be a verb. He's commuting to work. You can describe your commute to work or school to somebody. Like, you know, for me, it takes me about 7 minutes to go from my house to work on a scooter. Today, there were a lot of traffic lights during my commute, but I was a commuter on my scooter.
Exactly. But you can swap the eggs for egg whites, the white toast for whole wheat, and the dried fruit for fresh. That is, for fresh fruit. You've reduced the calorie content while improving the nutritional profile.
Okay, so that's a great tip as well to make a reasonable swap. Something that's not very healthy, of course, is the white bread, but you can swap it with whole wheat bread. It's very similar, and soon you'll get used to doing that. That'll be a great way to implement a new habit into your life. Take a good habit like eating breakfast and see where you can improve.
Now, of course, whenever you're trying to change a habit, it can be a little challenging. Well, speaking of challenging, right now it's time for the SC Challenge.
Yes. For today's SC Challenge, let's see who is playing with us. And as you introduce yourselves, share some good habits with our audience. Do you have any good habits anything that you think that everybody should do? Let's begin with you.
Oh, okay. Well,
So your name first.
My name is Daniel, and I'm very happy to be here. And one of my good habits that I have is, I brush my teeth every day, twice, not 3 times. But that's a good habit because it keeps my teeth clean and fresh.
You're a good man.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good habit. My name is David, and one good habit that I have, I try to be in bed by at least 10:30 at night, but I don't always pull that off.
Well,
Sometimes
you try.
it's a little later. I try.
It's a good habit to get in bed in time, to give yourself a nice amount of sleep. Friends, what are some good habits that you have? Let's get right into our lesson. It is rhyme time today, so try rhyming the words at the end of this rhyme with the words from the first part of the rhyme. Okay, so all these words appear in the lesson, the rhyming words they're going to guess. Number 1, each day I drink coffee while petting my rabbit. I know you may think that's a strange daily blank. What do you think that is, guys? What word rhymes? Yeah, David?
Mousetrap.
Mousetrap does not rhyme with rabbit.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, come on. What word rhymes with rabbit?
Okay.
Yes, Daniel.
Because we were talking about having good habits,
Yeah.
is the word habit?
The word is habit. Daniel,
That's
you
it.
are a genius.
Nailed it.
Okay, number 2. At school and at work, there is knowledge to gain. It's good for your body and also your... Yes, David?
Your brain?
And also your brain. Yes. Great job. Another genius here in the studio. It is 1-1. Game point. I can't find my right shoe and I've looked everywhere. I guess I'll put on a different... Huh? Yes, David?
Underwear.
A different underwear. What does that have to do with your shoe that you can't...
It rhymes. You're getting dressed, right?
It does rhyme, but I'm looking for something else here. I guess I'll put on a different... Daniel, do you have a guess?
Clue.
Clue? Oh, you want a clue?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because clue doesn't rhyme with everywhere.
Oh.
The word appears in the lesson.
It's got to be another pair.
Exactly, David. The word is pair, P-A-I-R. That makes David today's winner. Excellent job, you guys. Thank you for playing Rhyme Time with us. Friends, I'm sure you got all those correct answers very fast. That's all the time we have for today's SC Challenge.
So what are some habits that you want to take to the next level? Maybe it has to do with making your bed or cleaning the house or even positive thinking. These are some great habits that perhaps you want to take to the next level. Well, friends, remember, link I should with I do. And don't forget to make a reasonable swap. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on Studio Classroom.
Lasts a lifetime.